relinquish your pain unto me.
right, welcome everyone to Tabletop Tuesday, where I play some sort of random game. Lately it's been Final Fantasy. While we do nerd talk. Lots of nerd talk.
Yes.
And I forgot to pull up the picker wheel. There is something I'm going to cover real quick after I get the announcements done. And it's just my quick final analysis of the 2024 shit. All right.
Right on.
The D&D 2024.
Yep.
Because there is, where is it? Because they did a pre-order chart. I shit you not.
Okay.
And it's fucking bad. My brother in Paylor, it is fucking terrifying.
Aw, this creeper has a cute little backpack on.
Kill him and take it from him.
I'm tempted.
All right.
I don't know if it would actually drop.
So the announcements. First announcement is our sponsors. Shockbite Gaming Server down below is the link you need to click on if you want to get a nice gaming server. They're relatively cheap, starting at $2.50 a month, which is their lowest Minecraft server, and they just go up from there. They have a 95% uptime. They have the settings in there that you can reset your server every day to avoid server lag and crashes. They handle a shit ton of games. And they have a full-on file transfer protocol methodology, so that way, even if you are not using the exact game they're doing, like you say you want to have a certain mod pack, but it doesn't have quite all the mods you're looking for, you can add mods to it on the server side, and it'll work. It's great. Camera here, we've been using it for a while.
Yeah, I've been very pleased with Shockbite. I had never really rented a server before for anything, and it was pretty easy to get into it. And have to say that it's been great for our Minecraft stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. So there is that. The other sponsor is W Energy Drinks. Princess Pain with the hype, the little skulls hype. It's cute. This cute little skull thing. God, I got distracted for a second. My brain. Not Shockbite. W Energy Drinks. They have caffeinated and non-caffeinated versions. I'm a big fan of the Galaxy Grenade. Is it Galaxy? Yeah, Galaxy Grenade. My brain. I've been a little loopy today, so I've been trying to deal with that. Anyway, Galaxy, it's very smooth, very nice, all that jazz. Angel Woman! Angel Woman is here. Ange, how many channel points do you currently have? How much gold do you have in your wallet? In your gold coin purse? I get 33.4. So you are let's see, 740. So roughly I would say 16.6k gold away from being able to purchase your own entry. Jam, dude, 10 streams in a row for Ganda Gamera there.
Yes.
Now, here's the question. Yeah, okay. Here's the question, Ange. Are you saving up for that entry? Is that what you're aiming for? Because I know she's been in here a lot. I have no idea. Okay, because that's the highest point value one. Everything else is lower than what you got. That's why I ask.
Whoops.
All right. Other fun announcement we're still doing season 3 of Stellaris Eterna. So if you want to make a faction for us to run into, whether to fight or to make friends with, click on there. I am making a prologue video. I'm gonna make an epilogue video, and I'm also gonna put a redeem in Ko-fi for a certain amount of money where if I did, you already know what I want. What, for Stellaris Eterna, Angel Woman, or your own audiovisual entry? Either way, Stellaris is turning for a certain amount of money in Ko-fi to encourage people to use that. I will also make a video on their faction if they're in the game. All right. So it is a process I'm working on. I'm getting better with the music. It's not terrible. I've actually been able to use my own voice in a few songs and modify it in a way to where it sounds decent. Because, don't get me wrong, I'm an okay singer. I am not a great singer, but I'm okay. I'm using Audacity to make myself sound a lot better than I actually am. So, there is that.
I can't believe you have the audacity to admit that.
Fair enough, fair enough. So there is that. Angel Woman says, if I did, you already know what I want. Like, I'm not sure what she means by that. I'm not sure if she's talking about Stellaris Eterna or if she's talking about her audio-visual entry. I'm not sure.
I'm assuming the audio-visual entry.
Yeah, that would be my guess, too. Yeah, the audio-visual entry. I'm guessing it's something involving Sephiroth.
Bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-da-da.
Well, no, she has an audio cue in hers that is, yeah, maybe. It's an audio cue where it's Sephiroth from Advent Children. It goes, I have a wonderful gift for you, Cloud. Shall I give you despair? It's like, on your knees. I want to see you beg. So,
okay. Wow, that's a little aggressive there, buddy. Not sure that Cloud's that into you.
Yeah, I know. It's like, Sephiroth, you tone it down.
HR would like a word, Sephiroth.
All right. So before we get too far into things, I'm going to pull up the display thing real quick. All right. Let me go down a ways so that way I can... I'm trying to... I might have to turn off chat. Just for...
So it's... Oh, this bundle thing. Oh, yes. I remember this.
Yeah, this is the pre-order bundle. So let me turn off the chat. As soon as I can... Sorry, chat. You're going to disappear for a moment.
I remember seeing this discussed on Penny Arcade, actually.
Yeah. Oh, chat box. There it is. All right. Oh, I need to get rid of a few other things. Oh, no. Okay, let me raise that up a couple steps. I'm trying to get it to where it's at least a decent amount of steps. Okay, there we go. That'll be enough. All right. So this is the pre-order bonus. The fact that they're asking for pre-orders of a fucking tabletop RPG is annoying as shit.
I mean, I have seen some TTRPGs go through like Kickstarter, which is kind of like pre-ordering.
That's
but the fact that they're doing like different tiers and levels of rewards is just like, you're Wizards of the Coast. You should not be essentially doing Kickstarter shit.
Yeah, there is no reason for them to be doing this. Like, if they were doing, like, a smaller group was doing a Kickstarter, I give them that, you know, caveat, because they may not have the money. They may, you know, not have what they need in order to finish what they're doing. That's what Kickstarter's for.
Yeah.
But this is Wizards of the motherfucking Coast. These guys have billions of dollars in the bank. Like, the last quarter, these guys, and this was with them losing money recently, these guys still had, in the last quarter, made over $250 million in profit.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell me you need to do this shit because you don't have enough money to make this.
Yeah.
You are completely and utterly full of shit. All right? I am not buying a 2024 book. It is not happening. I am going to get the content through another method.
Yar.
Yar, matey. I am getting it through another method, and I am going to sit down with all the books. I will take probably a month to do this, and I will write down every change 2024 had from 2014 and make it into a text document and then literally release it as an errata. on forums.
Mm-hmm.
And just go, here you go. Don't have to buy the books now. Like,
Yeah,
peace.
And honestly, moving past for the moment the idea of essentially a tiered pre-order, effectively Kickstarter version of D&D. The Gold Dragon Digital Mini, it just seems like the shittiest, cheapest. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, give me a
You're
second.
getting virtual dice, you're getting virtual frames, you're getting a virtual, 3D.
I'm pulling it up right now.
This is like so fucking close to just being an NFT.
Let's be really honest. This is an NFT.
Except it's not exclusive like an NFT.
Yeah.
Every chump that orders this gets it.
Yeah, but you get my point. This is a shitty NFT.
Yeah.
Like, dear Christ. And like, some people are like, well, isn't this not that much different than getting, like, minis for Roll20 that you pay for and this, that, and the other thing? I'm like, the thing of the matter is, this is different in one way. When I pay for that mini on Roll20, that goes straight to the artist.
Yeah.
Like 50 cents of it might go to Roll20. All right? I know Roll20 takes like a very small cut.
Right.
It's not a big one at all. All right? But dear God, none of this is going towards the artist, or very little will be. And it is a disclaimer for our upcoming 3D virtual tabletop.
Right.
Which means you'll have to buy the D&D virtual tabletop, which fuck that noise.
Exactly. That's the other thing. They're trying to get buy-in on the tabletop. And yeah.
The dice sets, you get 12 to 15 virtual dice sets, not physical. Frames.
Yeah. Virtual fucking dice sets.
Yep. Frames are also virtual. Backdrops also virtual.
Yep.
The early access is dumb as shit. All right. Then you have bundle savings. All right. Do you know how much the top bundle costs?
How much?
Over $200.
Wow.
Without the pre-order savings, it's over $200.
And let's see. Does that literally get you 2 copies of every one of the books, or is it just you get a physical you get 1 physical copy of each book, 1 digital copy of each book?
That's it. Yeah, you get a physical and a digital copy of each book.
That's so essentially, all you get. Instead of paying $150 to get the 3 physical books, I'm paying an extra $50 to get a bunch of digital shit.
Yes.
And that's, supposed to be a bundle that attracts me.
Yeah. If you were to get the pre-order bundle, you would essentially save $10. Way to go.
Fantastic.
Yeah, like fucking what? Oh, and you get access to the books 2 weeks earlier. I guarantee you, the day these early access books come out, there'll be one asshole who will just buy the books and then immediately share them on Pirate Bay.
Oh, absolutely. Because
they will be there day one.
What better way to get internet clout?
Yep.
So you're 100% correct. They will not stay exclusive for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, like if that. Because all you have to do is buy the digital books, and then instantly you have the PDFs, and there are plenty of PDF programs out there that remove the watermark.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not hard to find and not hard to use. It's just like, boom, done.
Yeah, I just very frustrated with this sort of release.
Yeah, it's dumb, it's stupid, and dear Christ, it needs to stop. But
yeah,
it is.
It's not gonna.
Of course not.
Honestly, I've just been looking more and more towards non-D&D games, and I'm happy to report that there are many very good ones out there that I enjoy. So
Yeah, which is good. All right, so yeah, Jesus Christ, that was what I wanted to cover. I'm just saying, if you're in my Discord, stick around, because when that comes out and it's on Pirate Bay, I'll probably be getting it, and then at which point, writing the errata and then sending that out. So that's one project I've been doing. Another one is I've spoken with a guy named Neo Soul God. I'm in the process of translating his 5th edition content into Pathfinder.
okay.
In particular, he has the Path of the Capoeista Monk. The Night Skins is another thing, and there's a few other things that he's done.
Yeah, I think I remember you mentioning some of these earlier.
Yep. So I'm in the process of fixing those up and getting them into Pathfinder, and then I'm gonna send him a copy first to get his final approval, saying, "Hey, this is what's done. This is what I figured out." And then as soon as he gives me the thumbs up, I'm literally just gonna post them online if he wants me to post them. If he wants to post them on his Patreon, by all means, he could do that too.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I asked for him was that if he decides to post it, just credit me for translation.
Right on.
You know, to a new system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. All right. Give me a second. We should be having this up. Okay. Oh boy. I've added a few things to the wheel. So we'll see if any of them come up. If it lands on Dune again, I'm skipping it.
Yeah.
We already did Dune recently. Babylon 5. Babylon 5.
Okay. So you're going to be taking the lead on this, because while I've seen episodes of Babylon 5, it's not necessarily something that I have seen a lot or recently.
Yeah. I would say with Babylon 5, the cool thing about it, I feel, as a series, is it was mostly already written when it was first starting to be filmed.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of hints that are dropped in what's the word I'm looking for? In season 1 that don't pan out until season 4 or 5.
Sure.
Which is kind of a neat thing to do.
Yeah.
I need to close that because that is not one I'm going to be doing. All right, where are you? Wait in the designated location. Where is the designated location? Unlost World. Oh, right there. All right, cool. And I love the fact that there are certain actors in it that did just a beautiful job doing their roles.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I'm gonna point out today mostly is, aside from the Expanse, excluding the Expanse,
Okay.
I feel Babylon 5 has done the most accurate space battle camera work and physics than any other sci-fi setting. For one, all the ships have multi-directional thrusters.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
All right? That's something we don't see often in Star Wars or in Star Trek.
I mean, in Star Trek, they do have multi-directional thrusters. We just don't usually see them engaging them explicitly. We do hear them talk about them, but we don't
they're
like
talked
see them
about, but they're
fire.
never shown. And also, like, engines in reverse, there's no engines on the front of the ship. Blowing the ship backwards, essentially.
Right.
Which is, like, okay, I get it. To give you an idea of what I'm trying to talk about, I think it's called a Star... Let me double check. I'm trying to remember the name of the ship. Babylon 5, Star
Fury?
Star Fury, yeah. All right, that is their fighter craft.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you think that's an X-Wing, you're not far off, but it has some differences that an X-Wing doesn't. For one, instead of blasters being at the end of every one of those wingtips, if you're seeing it.
I mean, I'm not seeing it on your screen. Have you linked it in your Discord?
I mean, I could share it on my Discord. Just give me a second. Let's go with this picture. This will work. Because that is a good picture of them. I'll put it in photo dump.
Okay.
Alright. That's a Star Fury. So,
yeah.
Those are engine pods at the end of the wing.
Yep.
This thing has a massive turning ability.
Yep, they got nipples all over.
Alright. The gun barrels are under the cockpit.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense because that makes aiming them so much easier, especially for distance shooting.
Yeah.
So that's important. The cockpit is very wide, gives you a big wide view, which is definitely needed in a fighter craft.
Mm-hmm.
And the cockpit can eject from the fighter craft. And it's contained.
Right.
So, this is an example of what they do in the show. Now, in some cases... Hi, Han. Are you doing okay?
Yeah.
Hold it. Okay, fair enough. One of the tactics Star Furies like to do, especially on larger craft, is they will fly next to the larger craft, cut their engines, and glide, and then turn their fighter craft to face the larger one and shoot down their hull.
Mm-hmm.
Most sci-fi settings don't do that.
Yeah.
That's kind of a neat thing they're doing.
Sure.
But even the capital ships do things like that as well. And all the capital ships don't move very fast. They're not very maneuverable. They're very slow. It's something that, like, a lot of settings do get that part right.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't also get right some of the things that Babylon 5 does cover. For instance, when ships run into each other, it is catastrophic. It is. We're talking mass damage.
And not getting human slang right.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. We're talking about the ships first, though. And there's Daryl with lighting the place on fire. Hey, buddy.
Observation. This is a great opportunity for slaughter.
Iron Vein. Excellent.
Yep, playing Fall Guys. Awesome. I hope you were having fun with that. But no, like, the ships are very beefy, but they're also very fragile. So, like, there's a lot of, when the capital ships fight in the show, when they shoot at each other, there's a lot of counter shots being done. And shots literally intercepting each other.
Yeah.
Because they make that kind of a main thing. And, like, a lot of computing power on both sides goes towards intercepting enemy shots.
Yep.
Which is really cool that they even talk about that. They're like, we have to have, like, this much energy towards just interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Go. Hey, Rose. Not right now. Go make your bed.
So there is that. Let's see, Tender Valley and okay.
You're
Right.
capable.
Oh, that was quick.
Stuck around the corner.
Oh my goodness.
All right. But one thing Anne pointed out with Babylon 5 that they do really fun that a lot of sci-fi settings don't is getting human slang wrong. So, like, for example, there was one scene where two of the Centauri guys, two of the aliens, are talking. And the guy goes, I feel like I'm being, you know, like, constantly nitpicked and gone after. And they're like, okay. And he goes, I feel like I'm being nibbled to death by... What are those earth creatures? Web feet, duck bill, big bill. Goes quack. And his assistant goes, cats. He goes, yes, I'm being nibbled to death by cats.
Yes.
It's like, okay, that's a little fucked.
Danny, go to your room.
We'll go with that.
I actually don't find that unique. I've seen a lot of sci-fi shows that do the alien humorously misunderstands human idioms. So that one doesn't stand out as much to me as like the realistic space combat, for instance.
Yeah, but it's one of many things they do, and it's a collection of things.
Sure.
And so that is quite the case there. All right, so we're doing the Stayborough Deadwalk. Oh boy, let's see how well this goes. Because I have never done this before.
Well, I will talk a little bit about my experience with Babylon 5, such as it is.
Okay.
I've heard a lot about its development. Essentially, the creator went to the Star Trek people and basically said, hey, I've got an idea for a show. He wasn't necessarily pitching it as Star Trek, but it was the same producers that were working on Star Trek. And they're like, we're going to pass. And then, of course, we get Deep Space Nine shortly thereafter. But I'm told that the conspiracy theory that they ripped it off is a little overstated.
It is.
They were already working on some ideas along those lines, which may influence why they passed. It's like, well, we could do this, but we've got a Star Trek version. So I watched episodes here and there. I certainly thought it had a good cast. I'm trying to remember the standout episode in my mind, the one that I most distinctly remember, and I guess this is going to get into actual spoilers for the show, but it's been a while. I think we're okay here on the spoilers.
Yeah, I think we're fine on that.
Just verbal warning to anyone who's terribly concerned about that. There's an episode involving some time travel back to the predecessor station, Babylon 4. And there's a character that I particularly was amused by, Zathras. Yes, and he had this very peculiar way of talking, and I just immediately fell in love with Zathras because, it's just like...
Nobody listens to poor Zathras, no.
No, exactly.
Zathras have very sad life.
I did like the idea of the politics between these various factions. I never really glommed onto the actual world building, like the shadows and the Vorlons, and just it's like it's cool, but I'm not really seeing enough that engages my brain to be really excited about these species. It always feels like we're getting kind of like this surface level vision of what's going on. And that's probably intentional to some degree, and probably budget limitations to some degree. I don't dislike the show, but it's not necessarily one that I'm going to be like, oh, I should go seek it out and watch the whole thing now. Probably the only other thing that stands out to me is that it feels very much like sci-fi Lord of the Rings.
I can see that.
There's a lot of, especially I think towards the end, where this one guy has to go to the Shadows planet and do this thing. It's like it's Frodo going to Mount Doom. Just feels that vibe. The Shadows are obviously representative of the powers of Mordor and Sauron.
Yeah, we're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Yes. We're taking, what is it, Sinclair? Is that was his name?
Yeah, Sinclair was the commander of the first one. You're thinking, God, I know his name too, it's gonna drive me up a wall. Han, what was the second commander's name? Do you remember? Shepard.
I think I would have...
Was it Shepard?
It might be. I would associate that with Mass Effect. Sheridan. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it was John Sheridan.
Yeah, so we're taking Sheridan to Isengard. That's kind of the vibe.
I would say the where the show shined the best. Hey, support queen, how's it going? I think where it shined best was season 4-ish, when they were doing the human civil war. Taking on President Clark and his crazy shit, dealing with the Psi Corps infiltrating the entire Earth government and kind of puppeting them. Which, did you watch any episodes with... Who played Chekhov? Bester, yeah. Who played Chekhov? I forget his name.
Walter Koenig.
Walter Koenig, yeah. He was Bester.
Yeah, I've seen Bester. Bester is a good character. I am entertained by Bester.
Oh yeah, Bester is a fun character.
Bester is the worst.
Yeah, he is the worst guy ever.
But yeah, I liked the idea of the Psy-Corps. I liked Bester. I feel like Walter Koenig did an excellent job in the episodes that I saw where he made an appearance. It was nice to see him get to play somebody other than Chekhov.
The healer died. Oh no, the healer didn't die. He poofed. He just abandoned us. That has been the problem with this game lately. Is healers have been going on strike.
Like, literally?
Yeah. They'll...
we want more share of the treasure!
No, it's not that. A group of guys during before the release of this expansion got early access to it. And they got it at some convention or something like that. They asked Zeppela HQ, which she's known to be a healer, if she wanted to help them heal through one of the dungeons of this expansion.
Sure.
She said no, she just wasn't feeling it right at this time. And so they took 3 DPS and a tank. And they succeeded in clearing the whole dungeon without a healer. This made the healers kind of lose their shit and go, what's the fucking point of us if you can do the content without us? And that is what's caused them to strike.
Interesting.
And I get where they're coming from. I get it. But I'm going to be a little bit obnoxious here. Stop being a fucking baby and just do the fucking job.
Well, at the very least, don't sign up for a dungeon and then just nope out. You know, if you want to say, I'm not playing until they do something about it, that's perfectly within your rights.
Yeah, or like for me, it's another thing. It's like, look, we all have expansions where certain roles just get the short end of the stick. It sucks. Sometimes it's melee DPS, like what happened in, I think it was Heaven's Ward. Heaven's Ward melee DPS got the really short end of the stick because every boss had a fucking, like, AoE around them. That you had to run away from the boss and that tanked your DPS.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I get it, it sucks. Oh, I got bound. I'm gonna get hit with something. Really? Okay. You know, like, I remember in Stormblood, tanks got the short end of the stick. It sucked. And, like, doing some of the content was just, oh my god, hair-pulling frustrating.
Yeah.
But I dealt with it. I still did the job. So, in this case, I hate to break it to you, healers. Suck it up. Yeah. It just... I hate being obnoxious like that, but it's just... It's at that point where it's just like, why are you bitching about this? We've all had to deal with this.
Yeah.
And I know I'm gonna have some people who play healers get up, not happy with me because of my opinion. They're like, they're gonna jump on my ass like, you don't understand how healers feel and all that jazz. And I'm like, it's like, I get it. And I've played healers. In fact, I have a white mage that is max level for Endwalker. Alright? Which is level 90. I have a level 90 white mage. So I know what it's like to go through the shit that healers have to go through. I did it so that I would have that understanding. So, because, you know, you don't understand a person until you walk a mile in their shoes or whatever. Oh, I really hope this boss is not like every other boss I've had in a dungeon in this expansion, where the first boss is the biggest pain in the ass, and the rest of the bosses are easy. Because all the other dungeons I've done in this expansion, I've gotten curb stomped on the first boss. Every time. Can I please dodge things? Thank you. Oh, I don't want to get... Shit, I got caught. I'm gonna get hit with a bunch of shit. Can I please get away from it? Please? Jesus Christ. Oh, I took a major hit there because I got bound. This guy likes to grab your legs and just basically keep you in place. Oh, you bitch. There we go. Begone again. Can you... I'm not liking this cat thing. It's annoying. Oh, we beat it. So I didn't die from the first boss. That's an upside. Yep, that's an improvement. We'll take it. While we're waiting, I will do a quick wheel spin.
Sure.
Hopefully it won't be a topic that I'll have to be the main person to do that.
Danny, bring me the
All right. For us individually, the saddest moment we've had in gaming.
Okay.
So, like, essentially what moment in either a video game or a tabletop RPG that has given you the feels, like hit you straight in the heart?
Oh man. That's tricky.
I will say in 14 has several moments of the feels. Like every expansion has one, where you just get hit straight in the feels. For me, the strongest one is going to be in Heaven's Ward, where you had a guy who was traveling with you named Hierophant. All right.
Yeah.
And he was a knight. He wasn't an old knight. He was actually a young knight. Like, and he worked for the house that you were allied with. And his job was mostly showing you around, helping you out. You know, not really doing a lot of the fighting for you, but more of like, you know, just your escort and helping you get through certain areas that are politically a pain in the ass. At one point in the story, he is helping you deal with some guys who are escaping, who were the former leaders of the country.
Right.
And had basically done some sort of horrible ritual that started turning them into basically, in this game they're referred to as primals, but essentially summons. Like a summon boss fight, essentially.
Right.
Alright? And he, one of them turned into one of the knights of the round, if you remember that summon from Final Fantasy VII.
I do.
That was essentially the main bad guy, was all the knights of the round.
Okay.
With the old king becoming the big swordsman dude at the end.
Gotcha.
And they were all trying to fight dragons, kill dragons, and steal the dragon's blood and power to basically make themselves more powerful. Anyway, one of the knights turned into his knight form and had a big honkin' spear. And he threw it at your character. Because he rightfully saw your character as the biggest threat. Hierophant took his shield and jumped in front of you. Eating the spear. What is that? Rose stained one of her new shirts, and Anne's upset.
Oh.
And I don't blame her. But yeah, Hierophant basically takes the hit for you and dies in the process. And it was the first actual permanent death we had in Final Fantasy. In 14 anyway.
Right.
We had a few characters that we thought had died at that point, but in reality, they just either got poisoned to a level where they were in a coma, or one guy that we thought was dead, he was just in prison and he lost an arm. Which was still bad, but not dead. I'm a little concerned about that. That fell on me. Ow. But Hierophant was the first one to actually fully die, and man, did that give you the feels. That was painful.
I can understand that.
Okay, so how about you?
Well, thinking in video game terms, I have to say that one of my favorite video game franchises is the Diablo series. I still haven't played Diablo 4 yet, but
I need to play 3 and 4.
3's pretty good, but 3's actually the one I'm going to be talking about. So, spoiler.
Oh well.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to remember it perfectly.
You'll probably remember this, I guess. It's fairly distinctive. So one of the characters that is throughout the Diablo games is, of course, Deckard Cain.
You're about to mention his daughter, aren't you?
Well, I know. I'm about to mention the fact that Deckard Cain fucking dies in Diablo 3.
Oh, Jesus!
Yeah. And it's not necessarily that the moment itself is so, tragic. It's so much as, at that point, I had been playing those games for, 15 years? Holy shit, when did the first one come out? It was in the late 90s, wasn't it?
It was 95 or 97.
So, mid-90s. So yeah, at least 15 years I've been playing those games. And, this constant presence in the games, Deckard Cain, Deckard Cain, Deckard Cain, and suddenly no Deckard Cain. And that was impactful just from the fact of sheer presence and how often that, you had been there. The fact that you were losing this, there are only, at that point, I think, 2 characters in the game that have been with the franchise up to that point, and that's Tyrael and Deckard Cain. So, yeah, losing Cain was just a big swerve, emotionally speaking. That would probably be my video game answer, at least the one that comes to mind most readily.
God damn it, I'm gonna get stuck in shit.
Trying to think if there's been any really sad ones for TTRPG campaigns. Not usually. I tend to be more of the cinematic pulp action fantasy guy when I'm running, so it's not like, oh, this is a horrible tragedy and it's very sad, and I don't usually try to pull on those emotional strings as a GM. I'm trying to remember games I've been in that have gone that way, and nothing's coming to mind immediately, but yeah, having a franchise character that has been with the franchise for so many years suddenly be like, oh no, he's dead now. That is just a real gut punch.
Well, we may be dying on this one. Oh, maybe not. Someone raised a healer. Okay, yep, I don't want to be in the bleed area. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. The bleed. There's a lot of mechanics in this fight that suck. Alright, he's raising the healer again. Because we keep having really bad luck with this. Because this one requires you to keep track of the teacups that the ghosts go into.
Ah, that's
and
a lot
there's
to
two
watch
of them.
for. Yeah.
Which is really kind of shitty.
That's a lot to watch out for.
I'm just gonna go to the edge over here. Hopefully I'm right. Nope. Oh, come on, let me have this. Kill this thing. Okay, we killed it. Oh. That poor healer has just died so many times. At least everybody's sticking around, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
There are a few other video game things. Like I brought up MMO as like one that had a good feel, hit me in the feels one. I didn't play this game, but I watched the ending of it because I watched someone else play it. Titanfall 2.
Okay.
All right, not a game you would be technically into because once again, first-person shooter.
Yep.
First-person shooter with giant mechs. The mech that's with you the entire game. He has a personality and he's lost a good deal of its memory. And it's trying to remember all 4 of its directives.
Uh-huh.
Right? And most of the directives are like, you know, hey, complete the mission, do this, do that. But like nothing too, abnormal or anything. Now you're probably expecting a RoboCop Directive 4 here shortly, aren't you?
I mean, that did cross my mind.
Yeah, in this case, no. The 4th directive shows up at the end of the game, where the mech and the pilot are flying at a super weapons power core.
Okay.
And he's just going to ram the mech into it in order to destroy the power core to save millions of lives.
Gotcha.
Right? And he's perfectly fine with this idea. The robot, which I can't remember his name for the life of me, goes, Directive 4, protect the life of the pilot. And then opens his cockpit up, the robot does, grabs the pilot with his arm, and throws the pilot outside the explosion radius. And the last thing you see is the robot curling up and slamming into the core and exploding, killing itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, that's a hurtful moment.
Yeah.
It's like, because you spend the entire game with this robot.
Yeah.
It is your constant companion. And it's just like, damn. Because you mentioned the Deckard Cain thing, and that's what jogged that memory.
Yeah.
Though Deckard Cain, I would feel, is worse. Because you only have this robot for one game.
Right.
Deckard Cain, you had him for, what, 3 games?
3 games, yeah.
Yeah, 3 games. Like, shit. It's just like, oh, Nelly.
I mean, there's some classic tear jerkers from video games like Final Fantasy VII and Aerith's Death.
I'm gonna be honest with this one. I didn't give a fuck.
Okay.
I feel like a horrible person for saying that, but I had it ruined for me well before I played it.
Okay.
And so I never developed an emotional attachment to Aerith.
Okay.
Like, I cared more about Tifa, Barret, and Cloud. Those were my main 3. If Tifa or Tifa or Barret had died, I actually would have cared more.
Fair. Still, goddamn, man.
I know. I feel like a horrible person for saying that, but it's just like.
Well, I'm glad you acknowledged it.
Yeah, it's just.
You are a horrible person for saying it.
Yeah, the test results are in. You are a horrible person. I will say 10 actually had a stronger sad reaction as a single-player Final Fantasy game. And that was Orin.
Yeah. Honestly, Titus's deal is kind of fucked up too.
Yeah, I mean, his deal was fucked up, but, like, at the time, it was just like, eh. Like, at that point, I had already been desensitized by Orin going away. And Jet. I cared about Orin and Jet more than I did Titus.
Fair.
Because it was just like, these are two buds, and they're being forced to fight each other. Like, that is so shitty. I was just like, that is horrible.
Yeah.
For 12, I don't know if any character dying really meant anything to me. Because I think only mainly the bad guys died. If memory serves. So it was just kind of like, meh. Oh.
They're villains. They don't deserve to live.
Yeah. The healer's having bad connection issues. I am trying to keep everybody alive!
I'm trying to remember, in Chrono Trigger, does Robo die?
He has the possibility of death.
Okay.
Chrono does die, though, sort of.
Sort of.
You can technically keep him dead.
Yeah.
In which case, Magnus becomes the main character.
Or Magus.
Magus? Yeah. Magus. Is it Magus? Magnus? I forget.
It is Magus. There is no N.
There is no N? Okay, I'm just, what's the word I'm looking for? Mendeling affecting that, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, Magus becomes the main character in that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, 12 didn't really have anybody that hit me that hard. The original expansion had the Sultana die, supposedly, but it turned out she was just poisoned. But that was the big feels one for that expansion. Heaven's Ward, I already gone over it, because that's the strongest one. That's Hierophant. Then there was Stormblood, which is Yasiru, I think is her name. She starts off as a villain. And she hates everybody from her home country because they treated her like shit because she happened to have ovaries.
Yep.
That's literally why they treated her like shit. She was a pretty woman. And so, ergo, the only thing she had of any value was her beauty. Hey, Dresden. Oh, thank you for the 100 bits for Biddy the Owlbear. He'll play with those for a while and then probably eat them later. We appreciate that. What was I saying? So what ends up happening is you kick her ass when she's a normal person. Alright? And she loses her memory because of the ass kicking.
Right.
And she ends up traveling with one of your companions named Gotsiru is his name. Or Gototsu or something like that.
I was going to say Gotsiru?
It's like Gotsiru or Gototsu or it's something weird spelling of a fighting style, a sword fighting style.
Like Gotetsu?
Yeah, but it's a different spelling of Gotetsu.
Okay.
That's why I can't quite get it right.
Fair enough. I was just amused by Goatsy.
Goatsy, yep. And Goatsy there, and I'm going to refer to him as that from now on now.
Sure, yeah.
Just for humor's sake.
I guess he was kind of an asshole.
Oh, no, Goatsy was cool.
No, I was just making a joke.
Oh, okay. Goatsy was traveling with someone named Yami, is her name. Or, no, is it Yami, Yuri? Some wide name.
The names don't matter.
The name, no. She was a ninja. He was a samurai. Anyway, so with the... I'm going to refer to her as the pipe bitch, because she was smoking a pipe all the time.
Okay.
They were protecting her and helping her try to become a better person.
Uh-huh.
And her former family showed up under the guise of being a diplomat for the Garlean Empire, which they had just rebelled and fought away from.
Gotcha.
And so he shows up, and he ends up triggering not only her memory in a very abusive way.
Uh-huh.
He also forcibly turns her into a primal.
Gotcha.
Named Tsukiyomi.
Okay.
Which is goddess of the moon.
Okay.
Lots of balance, lots of fights. It is a heinous fight. But it is a terrible fight because you get to, at one point in the fight, you go inside her mind, and you have to fight off all of her inner demons, including her family's abuse of her entire life.
I see.
And it is terrible, because for the most part, she just wants to die.
Yep.
Because of it. Yeah, like watching it all and seeing what happened, you get to understand what happened to her. Oh wait, I fucked that up. Damn, that was not a fun aspect. All right. Okay, dodge that. So yeah, that was the sad moment in Stormblood. Unfortunately for Stormblood, it doesn't hit nearly as hard as the other expansions.
Okay.
Then we have Shadowbringers. There was a sad moment with that. I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head. Oh, I know too, and it's going to drive me up a wall. Oh, boy. I know it too, and it's going to drive me up a wall, because I can picture it in my head. It was, oh yeah, Lise. There was a character named, not Lise. She was named Minfilia originally, and then she became Reen, was her name.
Okay.
She had a sad moment because, she didn't die, but she literally watched a bunch of people that she had been, caring for and trying to help turn into monsters in front of her.
Gotcha.
And that was heartbreaking. It was just like, damn. So that was a sad moment from Shadowbringers. And then Endwalker's sad moment is when the bird girl, God, I just had her name in my head. I mentioned her. I have mentioned her before, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it was.
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see?
You're against my moral compass. Your fucking moral compass is a roulette wheel!
Yeah.
Observation. This is a great opportunity for
slaughter. It's going to drive me up a wall because I know this so well. Alright, hey Mez! Final Fantasy 14. Endsinger. What was her name? Medion. That was her name, was Medion. The moment where she goes through a massive mental break is literally a really sad moment. Like, that hurt a lot. Because you feel bad for her, too. Because you look at her and go, she didn't choose this. It literally was forced upon her, and it ended extremely badly.
Yeah.
Hey, James Dark Knight, how's it going, buddy? Okay, we gotta separate. Come on, guys. You gotta separate. Nope, don't separate. Okay. Can't get through it. Yep. Alright. Ward against spirits. Don't need that then. Oh, hey. I'm glad you're doing good, my friend. Oh, so many guys. Alright, there we go. I feel like I'm fighting Oogie Boogie. Like, I seriously do.
Yeah, I can see it.
Like, goddamn. Alright, give me the connection. Yep, there we go. And I go this way and get as much distance as I can from that little bugger. Oh, I'm gonna get hit with that. Yay! So this is slightly a puzzle boss. Fun times. Alright, go this way. Okay. Ooh, okay, ward against spirits. That means I need to stop being invisible. Alright. Malicious mist. Oh no. This is not good. Okay, I thought that was going to be more damaging. Apparently, I'm wrong. Hey, not always wrong, thank you. Guys, get out of the middle! No. Prayers of ward against the living. Cool. Oh. There we go. You. You alright? Oh, ward against spirits. Gotta get uninvisible. I gotta get visible. Alright, that person's about to have a bad day. I can do that. Alright, yay, we killed it! Okay, that was fun. Let's not do that again. Fuck that. Oh my god.
Shit, I'm out.
Yeah, fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright, let's spin the wheel while we're waiting. I'm skipping Dune and Babylon 5. We've done them recently.
Yep.
I just don't want to get rid of them for later.
Yeah.
Unexpected things players have done.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
that's a
am I
fun one.
going to be expecting a lot of stories from a Mr. Bowman?
No. I haven't had him in my games very much.
Oh.
So I've only GM'd for him
Another
once
token.
in one brief campaign.
Free token.
Yeah.
So no Mr. Bowman stories here. I'm sure you've got quite a few.
Yeah, he's done a number on a multitude of players.
Uh-huh.
Gimpy.
Gimpy?
Marsh's character.
Oh, Marsh's character. No, that was not unexpected. It was unexpected, but I wouldn't call it the most.
Nah.
I would say for me it was Mr. Bowman's necromancer that successfully killed everybody in the world.
I mean, you know,
Deal with
that's
that gas.
very ambitious.
Yep. Not just ambitious, he succeeded.
Well, you know, but it's still an ambitious thing to do.
The dark freaking god.
Yep.
The party figured it out too late.
Yep. And what made it even funnier was nobody suspected him.
Yep.
Like the rest of the players, excluding the rogue, didn't know he was a necromancer.
Which makes him all the more effective as a necromancer.
Yep. Because he played off as just a cleric. A neutral cleric. And this is a game also with Matt in it. Where Matt was playing a lawful good sorcerer who basically might as well have had a vow of nonviolence.
Uh-huh. We know how fond Matt is of those.
Oh yeah. Hey P! Hello, Jello. Hey AP, question: how many gold coins do you currently have in your gold coin purse? I'm curious. 13.1k. Okay, good to know. I'm honestly surprised you haven't picked something for Wildcard Wednesday ever. Oh no, wait, she did. Once. And that was the Colonel Sanders thing. Yeah. That was that Colonel Sanders game.
Delightful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there was that. Oh boy. But yeah, no, Mr. Bowman's actions in that game were very surprising to everyone, myself included, because I did not believe he was going to succeed.
Uh-huh.
You thought the rest of your party was smart enough to catch you.
Because I thought that at least Matt would have caught him. And the fact that Matt missed it, honestly, shocks me still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Because Matt's usually pretty good at noticing details.
He is.
But remember, Mike or Bowman knows Mike or Matt.
Yeah, Bowman did know Matt fairly well.
So he could have planned around it.
So I feel like he did plan around Matt.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. Because Mike's clever.
He is.
We literally had to tone the doctor down so we can have a chance of beating him.
Yeah, one of the NPCs in Traviel is one that Mike had actually made.
Uh-huh.
Known as the Good Doctor.
Had
Yes.
Ruby not toned him down, you couldn't beat him.
Yeah, technically, Mike built him to be pretty much undefeatable. Whatever goal he's going for, he's gonna get it.
And you literally can't stop him.
Yeah, so I toned him down a little bit to make him, you know, actually winnable against. Like, they're not gonna kill him, but they'll at least stop his plans.
For now.
Sure.
For now. I felt like that was fair.
And pass the buck down the generation to the next.
Yeah.
Next.
Alright, so we did Staybrook Valley, so now we're gonna try to do Tender Valley. Or no, it's Staybrook Deadwalk. The Staybrew Deadwalk. Because that's what I need to unlock the experts. Then I have all of these to unlock for the fucking mentor roulette. Jesus, I have fallen behind on this one bad. And some of them are extremes. You okay?
Yeah, I just knocked my soda over.
Okay.
Can't wait to not do perfect.
So how about you? Because I mentioned my most surprising one. How about you?
I'm trying to think back. I mean, sometimes it's little things that surprise me. I'm trying to think of a bigger one, though. Like, every now and then, I'll see a character go off in an unexpected direction, and it's just like, I really didn't expect them to do that. It doesn't make a big impact on the story, but it is interesting that they chose to go off on that fork. But back in college when I was a player, it was, I think it was my roommate Josh who was running the campaign, if memory serves. And Josh had a fairly detailed fantasy world, and he was running us through it. And I'm trying to remember, I'm not even sure what character I was playing at the time. I might have been playing Wizard. But anyway, my character has been kind of lost to the mist of my memory. What I remember is that my friend Brian was playing a thief called Lav. That's L-L-A-V, Lav. And Lav was very good at climbing walls. This was 2nd edition AD&D, by the way. So he had a high percentile in those various thief skills. And what really was kind of the gut punch was there was a certain point where, of course, the villain does that thing of like, well, you don't have to be against me. You can join me, and together we can fix this broken world. That kind of thing. And out of the blue, Brian said that Lav agreed. So this person who'd been with us from the beginning, without any kind of indication, like, oh, he's not satisfied with what we're doing. It was just a total fucking swerve, and he's just like, yeah, I'm going to join the bad guys. And I was just like, holy shit, what? What are you doing? Though, that one's kind of dim in my memory. I did remember, as I was speaking, a more recent one involving our friend Matt and the Star Wars game.
Oh my god, that... Okay.
I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Alright, so would you like to know where I got at least the concept of that whole ship or thing from?
You mean the lab?
The lab?
Sure.
I got it from Starship Troopers.
Okay.
There was a Starship Troopers movie called Invasion, and that lab was essentially something similar, where a lab experiment had gone wrong with the bugs.
Right.
And it led to a similar situation where if you didn't turn on the lights, you were safe, but as soon as you turned on the lights, you were fucked.
Okay.
AP has a 10-stream streak. Yay!
But yeah, I mean, just to get into the actual nitty-gritty of what happened for the listeners at home, basically we infiltrated this lab. I believe, was it on Alderaan?
Yes, I believe it was on Alderaan. Or it might have been Balmora.
I'm pretty sure it was on Alderaan, but I could be wrong.
I think it was all on Alderaan too.
Anyway, we infiltrate this lab. We're finding that the bad guys have been doing some secret research there, and there is this species of ant-like humanoids. I mean, I guess insectoids, but basically bipedal ant creatures.
Yeah, they're called colloids.
And the bad guys had been essentially implanting them with like obedience chips.
Essentially.
And the problem was that the experiment had gone wrong. These things were running amok. We needed to find out what was going on there, and basically the ant guys had killed the entire staff. There was almost nobody left to talk to.
Except for one guy.
Except for one guy we found in a closet who was basically panicking his fucking head off because he'd lived through the events and seen all the people he worked with killed. And so it's like, oh, hey, we found a guy. He's not doing too well right now, but if we can get him calmed down, we can find out what happened. And Matt, who was playing our party medic, who was, again, playing essentially an absolute pacifist. Like, in combat, Matt would not fire his gun at the bad guys, even if they were firing at us, except he would fire over their heads as, like, suppressing fire, I think was the limit.
And I had to come up with unique rules just to do that.
Right, because there really wasn't a thing for that. But yeah, Matt wanted to play essentially a total pacifist. And I guess that's fine. It is difficult to work with a total pacifist in an RPG context. But you can do it. The problem was that he decided at that moment that his character had such a moral objection to what the guys in the lab had been doing, which, I can understand why he might have a moral objection. But his character, he decided that his character at that moment snapped into a rage and tried to murder this one defenseless survivor of this massacre. He decided that was how his character was going to deal with this horrible, tragic circumstances. He was going to blame the one guy who survived, who we had no idea what his role was, how responsible he was, who was clearly defenseless and in need of medical care. This was going to be the one guy that he was going to kill. And, of course, we needed his information. So we had to pull the stops on that super quick because it was against the party interest. It made no sense. It honestly felt like Matt was trying to have his character play as if he had a psychotic break.
Yeah, and the thing that drove me more nuts about that whole situation was even the Jedi were less pacifistic than he was.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild.
Yeah. I think I've even told this other anecdote. Pacifists always end up in a weird place in my experience. I think I've mentioned the time where my friend Eric was playing a pacifist Fearbold priest of Thor. It's like, okay, you're playing a pacifist priest of a war god who's known for fighting giants and you're a giantkin. That's weird, but I'll allow it. And it was fine for about, an hour until one of the players in the group, who was new to the group and never played with us again for reasons that will become apparent, decided that his half-elven rogue was going to climb up a wall where the Fearbold couldn't get him and just keep throwing rocks at him. And it's like, dude, you are just being a major jackass. What the fuck is wrong with you? But eventually, when the guy got off the wall, Eric had his character grab him and essentially beat him to death in full view of the town guards. It's like, that's not very pacifistic either, but I understood that was an emotional reaction on Eric's part because he was having a bad day, and not really what he thought his character could do. With Matt, it felt like that was what his character could do. And I was just like, no, that is not a normal human emotional response. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, and he got so pissed off with that I think he stopped playing not long afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I did not know what his character was going to do, and my character, the way I dealt with that was like, my character is not going to trust this guy until he's had a full psych workup, because essentially we did just see him have a psychotic break.
Yeah.
And Matt was not happy with that. I guess he thought that his role-playing was impeccable or something. Maybe he was working through issues himself. Who the hell knows?
I feel like if anything, he felt that his character's autonomy was being taken away. And I'm like, no, dude, like, everybody else is kind of losing their shit because of what they saw. And I tried explaining that to him the best I could. It just wasn't sticking.
Yeah. But as you say, I don't know how much longer he's stuck with that one. And obviously, I get along with Matt fine. He's still in many of my groups today. But that just stood out as the most what the fuck bit of role-playing that I had run across.
For me, like, I still try to be friendly with him the best I can. When he does talk to me, when he gets around to it.
Yep.
But, like, I don't play a lot of the games he plays anymore.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't really contact me.
Yep.
And I get it. So, I don't want to be in that. Okay, that boss wasn't as bad. He wasn't terrible. Fighting giant cactus boss. Okay, cool.
And that's Reliquary.
Alright. This is all 690 here. I'm saving up for 700s. I will also say Matt, I could tell, was also getting frustrated at the fact that, because this was the first game, I think, that he did that.
Could be. I do have them kind of blended in my head, so I don't necessarily remember which is which.
Yeah, because I remember because he didn't appear in the second game. He wasn't in the second game. I could also remember that Matt was getting frustrated with the fact that as a healer, his role got kind of pseudo-co-opted by Sarah's healer. Because she was a Jedi healer, and they're just better at healing than the non-Jedi.
Yeah. At least in the moment, you don't want to necessarily leave a surgery to your Jedi, but yeah.
And Matt didn't transition to the long-term surgery well.
Yeah.
I remember that. He had problems with that.
And, you know, it's always understandable when you have issues with your one character thing being co-opted. I get that.
Oh, Umbra's here.
Hello, Umbra.
Why didn't it go off? Nani?
It showed up.
Yeah, Twitch alerts are there. So is Trigger Fire.
Let's try mine.
Face Hunter works.
Does Fireball work?
Fireball works, just Umbra didn't.
Let's try Camera.
Yep, camera worked. Hold up, there he goes. He just activated when you activated yours.
Well, AP redid his.
Yeah. But he's done his before and it worked.
Yeah. I don't know. Might have been a momentary Twitch glitch.
Yeah, that happens.
But yeah, that swerve from Matt stands out as one of the weirder ones that I've had to deal with in my career.
It's still a work in progress, Umbra. I'm trying to get it louder. I have to redo it in the audio program I have.
But yeah, I think that was just absolutely bizarre.
It was definitely a what the fuck moment there. And like, I remember afterwards, we like, you and me definitely did this. I think Ann was also involved as well. We kind of took him aside and went, dude, is everything okay?
Yeah, because that does read as, like, is something wrong at home? Because, wow.
Yeah, that was a sudden and drastic, like, whoa.
It's not normal for you.
Like, something is not right here.
Yeah. But, like I said, don't have any beef about it. He's definitely a part of my regular gaming group to this day.
Excuse me. Oh, I choked in my lungs.
I keep trying to think of one that maybe happened like when I was a GM, but my players, like I said, usually surprise me on small things, not big things.
Yeah. Oh, well, this'll fit. Biggest yikes moment in gaming.
Well, that was certainly...
That Matt's situation was certainly one.
Yeah, I have the feeling that you and Anne are going to outcompete me on this category, because I know some of your yikes stories, and they are definitely yikes.
Yeah, Jesus.
But it's not a competition.
Oh, yeah.
So, trying to think what would be a good example of a yikes. Well, you can go ahead first while I'm pondering.
Well, I'm apparently fighting Pumpkin Bomb Dude.
Okay. So, you know, there are multiple ways, I guess, to take yikes. Is like, oh shit, as a player, I'm kind of freaked out because of a situation that the table is developing. Or, oh shit, my character's in a lot of trouble. So you can go yikes either way on that.
Hey, Golden Games! Well, I will say the Scion, Exalted Hybrid game definitely had a yikes to it.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, I keep getting hit by that shit.
Yeah, you're indestructible, man.
Yeah. Okay, I am doing very poorly with this boss. Why do I keep getting hit with his shit? Like, what am I missing? Like, when a bomb goes into a square or circle, it'll do a line attack with a matching shape. Yeah, I know, but like I'm having trouble keeping in track of the shapes. That's the problem. Okay, so that's circles. So I want to be here. You know what? I'll just go all the way over here.
Okay, I've got one. This is an in-character and out-of-character yikes, but not like a, oh, there's a problem with one of the other players, we could, you know, be in trouble sort of yikes. I was playing years ago with Kurt, who I've mentioned is a great GM but has campaign ADD, and he was running Rippers. And if you're not familiar with Rippers, it's a Savage Worlds setting that's set in the Victorian era. Basically, you're part of an elite monster hunting society that spans the world. But the thing about the Rippers is to fight the monsters, they will do things like, oh, we'll make you stronger by harvesting werewolf tendons and surgically, you know, grafting them into your arms.
Okay, so that's the Chiron group from WoD.
Yeah. Basically, the Chiron group is very similar to the Rippers. But, you know, this is a setting that allows for a little bit of magic. It allows for all manner of supernatural monsters. We were playing I'm going to sidetrack here because there's a funny bit I just remembered. But Veronica was in that one. She was playing like a psychic telekinetic type. My character I really liked because essentially he was a magician, and he went by, I don't remember the name, but it was the Great, some Italian last name, the Great Zambini or something like that.
Right.
He was actually an American from like Indiana, but he basically lived in his Italian identity. Like he had a fake passport that he traveled under. He wore a fake mustache. Like whenever you would see him, you know, he was always fully in disguise. Like this was his persona. And then this is the side funny bit. My friend Eric was playing an Australian hunter type, like big game hunter, classic Victorian monster hunter.
Right.
And he was something Hitchens was his last name. And I forget what made us go on to this, but like I started riffing like, oh, are you some kind of Indiana Jones type? Are you like New South Wales Hitchens, Queensland Hitchens, you know, just naming Australian states? He said he's actually from Victoria. I was like, oh, Victoria Hitchens. So his nickname briefly became Victoria Hitchens in game.
Jesus Christ.
But when we were traveling with a group of the natives, because we were doing something in India, we were traveling with a group of the locals, and he made like some incredible fucking shot to take out a monster that was menacing us. And because of the nickname Victoria Hitchens, he then developed the nickname Queen Vicky, because Queen Victoria, but they were also celebrating, like, you know, he did a really good thing, so he was Queen Vicky.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Eric sometimes gets annoyed with me when I inspire things like that. But the reason we were in India was we had been summoned to one of the regional palaces to deal with a set of mysterious exsanguinations, which is a long way of saying people who've had their blood sucked out.
Yep.
So, yeah, we were hunting vampires. And one of the local ladies that had, I think, been engaged, the local Raja, had disappeared. And I'm 100% convinced at this point that, okay, she's, you know, been vampired. She might not be our primary vampire, but she is a vampire. And we start snooping around. We find, like, some hidden hallways in the palace, and we're kind of creeping through there looking...
Sorry,
yeah, Queen Victoria Vampire Hunter, yeah. We find these, you know, hidden passages that lead to like a little basement area that has some caskets. This is classic vampire hunting 101 shit. And, you know, my character creeps over and opens up the casket, and here's this missing girl lying back there with her eyes closed. And I'm like, well, you know, you got to do the Van Helsing thing at this point and drive a stake through her heart, or else we all could be in serious trouble. And so I did that. But the problem was, she hadn't been transformed into a vampire yet. She'd just been abducted. Oh. So my character murdered a woman that he thought had been made into a vampire.
Well, whoops!
Like, ooh, awkward.
Awkward. Alright, so for the chat to understand what Gamera and I were talking about when we talked about the indestructible guy, this was a game where we combined, the guys who were running the game combined Scion, which is a WoD game, where you are the child of a god, and Exalted, which is, the best way to describe it is, it's bad kung fu movie, the RPG.
On steroids.
No, it's a bad kung fu movie on just straight up. I feel like, Gamera, you would agree that those are accurate assessments.
Yeah.
Alright? So they combined basically bad kung fu movies with godhood. And subsequently, you know, shit happened. Now, a few of the players were kind of pieces of shit.
Yeah.
As people. Not as characters, as people. Like, one of them would make the comment to Anne that, why is she out with them playing games when she should be in the kitchen cooking? or cleaning the house, like a proper woman should be.
Yikes.
But yeah, he would also leave his shit everywhere, like the food he would bring to eat and all that jazz, because he never ate her food. So it's like, why are... And so he would leave like the food containers out, he would make a mess, so on and so forth. At one point he stepped over her when she was cleaning a mess that the group had made. And didn't even say sorry, nothing, just did it like she was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And then when he made the comment, you know, what was the exact comment? I'm trying to remember. He made some sort of really sexist comment. I cannot remember what it was off the top of my head. I just remember it was so heinous that me and one of the guys running the game both looked at the dude and went, "No, you don't say that shit." Like, straight up. I'm fighting a peep with a headdress. I'm fighting Wiggly Peep. What the fuck? Yeah, a birdie weeble wobble. Okay, that's weird, but we'll take it. Anyway, so the players in this game were doing redonkulous levels of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were doing like a sheer amount of damage that would kill 9 times out of 10 things. Yeah. And for some reason, like, they were killing enemies like in 1 shot, sometimes 2 shots, if the enemy was really tough. So they were burning through things. So the biggest yikes moment was literally their behavior, but then I will suffice to say happily, I was the group's biggest yikes moment in game. Yeah, so what happened was, my character was going after a major monster going around in the world wrecking cities. Think like Godzilla. AP says, BRB, my computer's acting up for some reason, I'm gonna restart it. Okay, AP. What the? Oh! That's great. Okay, what am I supposed to be doing here? Oh, okay. Apparently I was supposed to get to that corner, and that was kind of a bitch. Okay, that was a fun little fuck up. Anyway. So, yeah, they were doing all kinds of really heinous shit. Uh-oh. I gotta get over here. Ow. So I didn't build my character for damage output. I built him to absorb damage. I built the ultimate tank. And then, by going after this giant monster, I was given an offer for power. And they described it as using it to gain that power to fight this monster. And I was like, okay. And I accepted it, and I gained some cool powers. Then the party kept fucking up. And I'm like, okay. And it got to the point where I was offered even more power by these quote-unquote evil gods to be the harbinger of the apocalypse. Yeah, at this point, like, the party had fucked up so badly that I was actually okay with basically being the apocalypse.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it, let's go.
Always the voice of reason in the party.
Yeah, Anne's character ended up being the voice of reason in the party. Welcome back, AP. So what ended up happening was, they decided that there was going to be a major fight between their army that they had mustered and the other country's army. And I told them, like, look, guys, you don't need to fight this fight. You are literally just killing people for the funsies of it. And one of them replied, not like, oh no, we have to do this because this is what's needed for, you know, to better our country or to help its people. No, one of them replied, no, I want to do this because it's fun.
Yeah.
They wanted to mass murder because it's fun.
Yep.
And my character's like, okay, no, I'm not allowing this.
Yeah, fuck that shit, I'm out.
Yeah, so I basically activated all my powers, went full, you know, Harbinger, and looked at them and went, I'm stopping this right now, and none of you are going to stop me from doing this. And they're like, oh yeah, and they started attacking me. Next to an ocean with a multitude of guys. Now, I decided, well, since you guys are going to be like this, I'm going to sacrifice most of your army who is actually working for the people I work for. And they're like, what do you mean? And I go, simple. You're going to, it's like, you're going to run into this fact that I can sacrifice all your troops now to my evil gods because their commander is technically working for me. And they're like, oh. And so he sacrificed for his army, which I was like, oh, he's blood sacrificing 1.9 million troops. Awesome, that guy gets Employee of the Month. And one of the storytellers looked at me and went, "You're micromanaging the apocalypse?" I'm like, yeah, why not?
That has become a catchphrase.
Yeah, that has become a catchphrase with the group. But then they started trying to do damage to me. And I could take, they did 120 points of damage. Ag damage in a turn. Which, for those of you who are not known in this system, that is more than an atom bomb. Okay? Technically, an atom bomb only does 100 ag. Which, technically, you're not supposed to be able to, you know, survive that.
Right.
What is this? This is a choker. So, it is... Oh. I probably didn't get any, Nope, I didn't. Because, the healer got pissed off that I wasn't provoking as often as I was supposed to, apparently. I really don't care. Oh, I should probably do that, so that way I don't lose that. Alright, so there's that. I have 20 minutes. I don't think I have enough time for another dungeon.
Finish the story.
Anyway, sorry, finishing the story. I keep getting distracted. So, they're sitting there doing all this damage, and I keep looking at the guy running the game and going, I'm activating this ability. I'm using this ability. I'm like, I use 2 or 3 abilities every turn. And they're sitting there going, how is he not dead? This is bullshit. And I go, I'm literally reducing all your damage to 1 damage, and then I get to soak it. And they're like, the fuck? And I'm like, here's my abilities. The ST gave them to me. He didn't realize how they work in combo.
Yeah.
And that was their biggest what the fuck moment.
Second biggest is when I called you back.
Yeah, the second biggest was when Anne's character called me back, because in order to get rid of my character, the storyteller forcibly shoved him into a mirror and broke the mirror and made it so my character could not escape the mirror unless the mirror was completely reassembled.
Yeah.
Basically, storyteller bullshit. Or DM bullshit. Because the other players couldn't kill me, and they were pissy.
Yep.
And I looked at it like, I looked at them and was like, then I have a simple solution for all of you. And they're like, what's that? I go, stop being shitty people. You want my character to stop trying to kill you? Stop being shitty people. And some of them took offense to that.
As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see?
They then kill.
You know what?
Only thing keeping my character sane.
Then they kill Anne's character's brother, which is the only one keeping her sane, and she had an ability to repair her rifle if it's ever broken, as long as she had a piece of it.
Uh-huh.
And they'd seen her use this ability before.
And the party had seen her use this ability before. This ability worked on any non-living object.
Yep.
Call all the pieces back and immediately mend it.
Yeah, and she didn't have to own all the pieces. All the pieces would immediately appear in front of her and reassemble.
Mm-hmm.
She had a shard of the mirror.
Yep.
And immediately called my character out, and I literally caused the apocalypse.
Bum.
Yeah, the DM retconned that.
Yeah, the DM essentially retconned the whole scene, and at that point, I just did the whole, you know, clapping your hands back and forth together like you're just...
You're wiping your hands of it.
Yeah, wiping my hands of it. I did that and just went, you guys have fun, I'm done. Because, at that point, they had done things where they had, essentially bombed civilian populations in mass. And
They were supposed to be the good guys.
and I'm sitting there going, this is bullshit, you really should retcon this, otherwise there's no reason for anyone to ever work with these guys. And the DMs never did that. And I'm like, okay, nah, you all can fuck off.
Yep.
I left the game too at that point.
Yeah, Anne left the game too at that point, and
And then I forgave them from playing it like that.
yeah, the DMs of that game, for the most part, I'm going to be brutally honest. One of them is possibly one of the worst DMs I've ever had.
Yeah.
And the other one, I know he's improved. You know who I'm talking about. That would be Mr. Knight.
Okay.
I've been told he has improved, but to be brutally honest, his mentality when it comes to gaming is really shitty. Which is, he doesn't want to kill his players. He wants him to barely survive with 1 HP every game.
Which is just exhausting and awful.
Yeah. It's like, you are kind of a piece of shit DM. I can't respect him as a DM.
Yep.
And he's running games in Four Horsemen where he charges people for the game.
Oh.
Yeah. Even though he works at Four Horsemen, and, you know, so he's given the room for free, but he still charges because he's like, well, there are costs that go into this game and da-da-da. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't need these costs. You choose those costs.
Huh. I wonder if I've met him.
I mean, I'm sure you have.
Interesting.
Because he's consistently around Four Horsemen a lot.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know him, look at him.
Sort of. His hair's kind of cut, hun, now.
You have a long brown ponytail.
Yeah, I know he wears glasses, dark hair. He does 40k stuff, but he doesn't do... I don't think he actually plays 40k.
Okay.
He mostly has done the RPG of 40k.
Last RPG day.
Okay. Does he have like kind of thinning hair?
I think so. He ran kids with bikes last free RPG day.
I wasn't there last free RPG day.
See if I can find him. Because I know he... Yeah, I found him. Found his Facebook.
Okay, if you want to DM me a link. So
Yeah,
I
I'll
know
DM you that link here in a second.
Yep, no problem.
There you go. Where are you? Damn it, where are you? There you are.
Alright.
That's him.
Let me take a look. Oh, yeah, I have seen that guy's picture.
Yeah, he's not a bad human being, but as a DM, he's a piece of shit.
Okay.
I cannot respect him as a DM because, like, he wants to kill his players, or basically torture them.
He and I have 21 mutual friends.
Let you heal and then do it again.
Yeah.
And he likes tricking new players into picking flaws or traits and then abusing it.
Yeah, him and his group do not tell players the truth about the game they're playing. Like, he will trick them into doing dumb shit. And then laugh when they're suffering.
We're trying to figure out how this happened.
Yeah. He thinks it's
Yeah,
funny.
I know that guy. I've seen him at the front desk at Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
He seems perfectly friendly as far as that goes, but I've never really gamed with him. Like I said, we have 21 mutual friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think it was funny when I broke the game.
I'll have to wait on that one.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, he just not a great person, and it's really annoying. At least DM. Spending time with the boo. Yep. And I appreciate that. What is it? Flame of Passion. That's what it was. Let me write that down so that way the next time I bring that up with someone, I remember what object I'm trying to sell. Because several members of my FC have been asking me, like, what item am I trying to sell that's so expensive? Yeah, it's the Flame of Passion. 899969. Oh, 969. So 8 million gil if I ever sell this thing.
Nice.
Alright, so I'm beating its price, so I guess I'll go down to 25. I'll lower it some. I've seen it where a DM would charge players to be their DM. He calls himself a professional DM. Is this a common thing? Yes, there are professional DMs. They do exist, and some of them are actually really good. I am not knocking the idea of a professional DM.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and if if you enjoy it and want to do it for your friends for free, that is perfectly normal and expected. But there are people who are willing to invest that time to do it as a profession.
The average cost I've seen for professional DMs is rates you about $20 per player per hour.
20 per player per hour?
Yes.
Ah, wow, that's more than I've seen, but
that is the current going average. Is that so there's that. Now professional DMs, they're not terrible. Like I said, some of them are really good at their work. Others, they're pieces of shit that basically are just doing it for what they think is an easy paycheck.
yeah, I was going to say, you're going to get people who think, oh, well, I like playing D&D, this will be an easy way for me to make some money. And it's like, yeah, but dude, you're kind of a mid-GM. Your players stick with you because you're willing to GM, not because you're a fucking genius. So you may want to think twice before you're going to turn this on professionally.
Yeah.
The instant you start charging people for something like this, it's like, one, you got to be someone who's going to be able to maintain a schedule. Two, you're going to have to be able to deal with all kinds of stranger party dynamics. Like, you probably have a group of people who don't know each other and don't know you, so you don't have those bonds of friendship that you can leverage. Like, hey, man, we're all trying to have a good time. You guys are friends. Calm down. Don't just kill his character because he got in your way. And that's different with a group of strangers.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
There's that. Like, there's one guy that's on TikTok that he made the comment that, like, there should be no such thing as a professional DM. That all they are is they're all scam artists.
And that's wrong.
Yeah, it's like, no, my dude, you're not right on this. In so many levels. Like, there are some people who I've had as a DM or as a storyteller that if they said, yeah, I'm doing it professionally, I could see it and be like, yeah, you're really good at it. Go with that.
There are others where it's like, I'm not touching with a 10-foot
Yeah, there are other DMs where I've looked at them and go, you shouldn't be a DM ever again.
Yeah.
You are so piss poor at this, don't do it. It's like, nah.
I've known at least one GM that I've played with who is, fine. He does some things well, who discussed the idea of becoming a pro, and it took everything to just bite my tongue and stop myself from saying, in what fucking fantasy land do you think that's going to work?
Yeah. Like, I have a profile on a professional GM website, but I've never gotten hired for it, and I'm not holding my breath on it. It's just something I was like, if someone ever wants to pay me to do this, sure, I'll do it, but otherwise, I'm not really going to go hog wild on it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really seriously considered it. I've thought about it and gone, I don't think it's for me. I enjoy making worlds. I enjoy telling stories to my friends. I don't know that I enjoy the act of GMing a game enough in and of itself that I would want to do it for strangers for pay. Like, I could see myself doing a session for a group of strangers, like, this is an introductory session for people who want to learn how Call of Cthulhu works. Sure. But the instant pay enters the equation. That changes some of the dynamics, because, normally in a GM player situation, the GM says what goes. The only flexibility, the only power the players have is the ability to say, you know what, that doesn't work for me, I'm leaving the table.
Yeah.
But as soon as you put the financial aspect on that relationship, it's like, well, I mean, I certainly respect your GM call, but do you want to make your rent this week? Because I think you really will find that I did save that magic sword. That kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And that would not fly for me at all.
No, same. I just... It would drive me up a wall. That would be one thing that would really irk me a lot. The other thing is, I have a slight story on this one, and this was involving metagaming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind if a player uses some information from outside for their character, as long as it betters the story. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, maybe a player just making a goof or a joke about something that they know as a player but not as a character.
Right.
And making just a joke about it, I'm fine with. But the one story I have in mind, I was playing in an online game, this is 3.5, mind you. And I was playing a Fist of Raziel Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a cohort, and she was also an Exalted Cleric.
Mm-hmm.
We had an Exalted Monk in the party. And then the other party members was a Lawful Neutral Artificer, a Chaotic Neutral Rogue, which might as well have just been Chaotic Stupid, and a Chaotic Evil Rogue Assassin, who was a Goblin. Alright, now this is back in 3.5 where Goblins were usually evil. So, there's some caveats there. I never used Detect Evil on my own party, because I felt that would have been metagaming.
Sure.
So I let them go, I let them do their own thing. I understood that the rogue would do some stupid shit. And every so often, the Artificer has their own kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Their own moral code that they follow.
Mm-hmm.
I may not agree with it, but, whatever. I'm gonna exit out of Final Fantasy 14 while I'm talking.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So we go to a town. I save the town from being controlled by an evil empire. And then I put into place the government that was in this town before. Because I don't want to rule this town. I just want to, get it back to what it was. I'm freeing you people. I'm not ruling you people.
Right.
All right. My home country shows up. and tries to take over the town. I deal with them, I fight them off, and I successfully get the town back to what it was. The DM basically tried to put my good alignment versus my lawful alignment.
Right.
Not realizing I was playing lawful as a code of ethics, not I obey every law of my home country.
Yeah,
So he didn't realize that was not going to mess with my alignment really at all.
Right.
And after some discussion, he realized that was the case. While I was trying to convince the town council to let me have as many men and women who were capable of fighting, the assassin rogue was sneaking into the place. Now, he waited until I got the no answer. And then, as I left, I left and I started talking to the people themselves, going, hey, I'm going on a campaign against the evil empire. Would you like to join me? So surprisingly to say, I natural 20'd my diplomacy roll, and diplomacy was one of my main skills. So that went great for me. Well, the assassin killed the council. He stabbed them all. And we left town when I gathered my army and so on and so forth, nobody knowing that the council had already been stabbed.
Yeah.
Later on, a bunch of guards from the town that had stayed behind to protect the town come up to my army and they go, hey, we need to put you under arrest for the murder of the council. And I'm like, the council's dead? And they went, yeah, the council's dead. They got, stabbed. And I'm like, they were alive when I left them. And like, I went with them for a moment, like to my personal tent, answered all the questions. They believed that I wasn't lying, which I wasn't. And I went, then it seems likely that the Empire snuck in someone who killed the council. And if they're trying to get back home to not get caught, they're probably hiding in my army. I feel like this is a logical, deductive reasoning.
Sure.
So I started to use Detect Evil on the army, looking through it, just saying, okay, who's coming up as evil? Maybe I can question them. All right? Because they would seem the first most likely. And then if I didn't get anybody who had done it that was evil, then I was going to start using other investigative methods. All right? The goblin, not knowing that I'm detecting evil in-game, because you can't tell when a paladin's doing that.
Right.
Was avoiding my gaze. He metagamed hard. And I went to the DM and went, this is not acceptable. This is not cool. We need to, this needs to stop. And he goes, well, he has every right to have his character do whatever his character would. And I'm like, he is fucking metagaming, but I'll prove it to you. And he goes, how are you going to prove he's metagaming? I go, and I whispered to the DM, because this was an online game, I go, I'm going to be in my tent in the disguise of a standard guard. All right? I'm going to hand my armor that I normally wear, the weapon I normally use, to one of the guards, and have him magically disguised with illusion magic to look like me. And I'm going to call for a party meeting, essentially the commander's meeting, to discuss the invasion of the Empire. And I'm going to detect evil everybody who comes in. No one is going to know I'm doing this other than my cohort, who is a cleric, who does have some illusion magic.
Right.
All right? So the DM goes, okay, you can do that, and he does that. And the goblin does not have anything to block his alignment.
Right.
So he comes up as evil. I know he's doing shit, and so I just immediately smite him. Hey, Arcane Meat. And being a Fist of Raziel Paladin, I one-shot him with a smite.
Yep.
Because Fist of Raziels do a shit ton of damage with smite. It's kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs bad. The guy who played the Goblin got pissed off. He didn't leave the game, but he did get pissed off. Said this was bullshit, you're metagaming, so on and so forth. I go, no, I'm not. You came up as evil, and literally my character's code is evil immediately kill. That's what Fist of Raziel's do. And he's like, okay. And then I took him aside and go, you want to make a better rogue that works better with the party? And so on and so forth. And he goes, yeah, but I kind of want to be like, able to hide from people and stuff. And I'm like, okay. And I teach him how to play a better rogue.
Uh-huh.
I go, hide your alignment. That's always important, whether you're evil or good. You want to hide your alignment. The second thing you want to do is you want to max out bluff. You want to max out stealth. You want to max out like certain tricksy skills that are bread and butter for a rogue.
Why you didn't have them to begin with, I don't know.
Yeah, why he didn't have half of them to begin with, I don't know. He had like no ranks in bluff. And it made my head hurt. And I gave him a few lessons here and there, but the biggest one was hide your alignment and know how to lie to people in game.
Yeah.
All right. And I was referring to NPCs, and I go, and build a character that works with the rest of the party. That was the last thing I told him. Is like, and this is the most important. Make sure your character plays nice with everyone else in the group. He goes and builds a character with the new DM. The new character has 3 classes. He has Rogue, Spy Master, and Exemplar, I think what was the last one. It's the one that makes you really good with knives.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember.
But, like, it gives him extra sneak attack damage, essentially. Like a butt ton of it.
Okay.
And he took Spy Master just enough to get the alignment hiding ability.
Yep.
Some of the feats and equipment he took was specifically designed to kill paladins and clerics. He Inigo Montoya'd it. For those of you who are not aware of what Inigo Montoya is, he is a character in the movie The Princess Bride, where he tells one of the villains, he goes, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You have killed my father. Prepare to die." In most RPGs that I've played in, I have a rule, and it's called the Inigo Montoya Clause, which is when your character dies, especially if another player accidentally causes it or purposely causes it, you cannot make a revenge character.
Yeah.
That is really, really shitty to do. AP, you are missing out. She has yet to watch the movie.
Oh, it's fantastic.
In my opinion, the movie has the best choreographed fight scene in all of cinema. Hands down, no contest there.
Just a heads up, you got 4 minutes.
Yep.
Oh,
excuse me.
But yeah, he made the Grudge character.
He made a Grudge character. And suffice to say, at that point, I looked at the DM and went, either he changes his character, it stops doing a Grudge character, or I'm gone. I leave. And I'm taking my character, I'm taking my cohort with me, and at that point, the monk and the artificer both agreed to come with me. And the DM chose him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, fuck off. Bye. I had zero interest in being in a game with that kind of level of dipshit bullshit.
Yep.
It was just, fuck that. All right. So I'm putting up the raid messages. We have the Tavern Visitor raid message, aka the Follower raid message, and our Subscriber raid message, which is the Tavern Patrons. Please use those when we raid out here in a second. We are raiding Chef Tennessee, who is playing... Fuck you.
Who's playing what?
I'm about to start making turtle soup. Chef Tennessee is playing Project Zomboid. We mentioned that yesterday.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, we mentioned that yesterday, and we mentioned I was going to try it. And someone sent me a copy of the game.
Nice.
So, huzzah. So we're going to be rating him. Join us tomorrow for Final Fantasy VIII, where a Wildcard Wednesday, where I'll be playing Final Fantasy VIII again until either I beat the game or someone pays for me to play something else. So there is that. And then next Monday is Multiplayer Monday, where I will be playing Star Wars: The Old Republic Imperial Side, where myself and the bounty hunter will attempt to keep our resident psychopath from murdering everyone we meet. So join us for all that fun time. I hope to see you all tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourselves both mentally and physically. And I know you all come to Ruby's Resplendent Tavern for the witty banter, but you stay for my fuck-ups. All right? See you tomorrow. Toodles.
Toodles.
Evil Ruby, Mad Hatter's life. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun unfold. Oh, Ruby streams with laughter bright. By the glowing screen we set our sight. From fantasy realms to FPS fight, every stream is pure delight. Evil Ruby, Mad Hatter's alive. On Twitch we sail, come join the dive with games and chat and tales untold. In Ruby's realm, let the fun